Yo, turn it up. It's Gerard on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got us hard in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. They try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerard's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerard on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerard on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tune in out, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on, good people? How y'all are? Hope that everybody is having a good day. It is Monday. We in the building, having some conversation, and gonna have some conversations on today because we know that we got a lot of stuff that's happening in the city today. A lot of stuff that's happening in the city today, and hoping that you are going to be a part of it because we definitely want to bring in all the conversations, and we definitely want to make sure that we have information coming in. So one of the things that we've been talking about with, I think more people will say this too, that, with the change of the National Football League. Y'all know the changes. Some people say that, they don't have the hard hits like they used to. And They don't have the uh, same atmosphere and all this other stuff. But we also heard that there was some issues, and then we start seeing the conversation pieces. The conversation pieces being that people would say that those hard hits and all those years of taking those hits and tackles and sacks and all the other stuff in the National Football League would cause some type of problem with those players that would mess with their mental health. And we heard some things to say, oh, well, this is called CTE. And then we saw the movie. I think Will Smith was in that movie back in the day. And of course, we've seen the change of how the game is being played from I guess more so than anything else, from the professional standpoint. And then we're seeing some changes in the college and maybe even some of the high school standpoint. We can have those conversations, but have we started talking about men's health, brain health, your brain? Have we talked about that? Because that has been a question for many. Have you heard any more conversations about it? Have they been giving you more information about it? Well, there's a big conference that's going on. As a matter of fact, it's going on now at Xavier University. And I would say many folks that have a whole lot more knowledge than I do or will ever have from all across the country are here to talk about it. And I think I should just go home and just have no words whatsoever, Doc. Now you're gonna have to get used to us, cause this. You get this?
I just
you've been hanging with it?
Yeah, we cousins now. Moving on to the brother thing.
Okay, you said cause I was gonna pray for you.
Here we go.
I was just gonna pray for you, cause
Look, when I met him, I had hair.
he ain't losing cause of me.
Now I see how it's going up here.
It was all the trouble that he got in that he came down here because he's from North Carolina.
So he was getting away, right? See, I'm in North Carolina.
I'm from North Carolina.
So what you tell
you North Carolina?
Yeah. Well, I live there now. I live there. I'm from a Jersey boy, but my
Durham?
grandparents. No, I'm in living Durham. You're right. That's
where
right.
I'm from.
That's right. My
That's where I'm
grandparents migrated up to the Great Migration in Newark, New Jersey. Right?
Okay.
So then I'm coming back home now.
So my folks migrated from Hackensack.
Is that right?
And moved down, and I think that was way before I was even a dot in my daddy's eye.
Okay.
So let me give him a little New Orleans. What's your mama name again?
Don't ask.
What's your cousin? Your grandmama is who?
That's how that works. Well, see, I'm a Newark guy. Brick, see, I'm Newark, New Jersey. It's not far from Hackensack.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, my folks came from Hackensack, and then I went to school at UNC.
Oh, is that right? You at Chapel Hill?
My mother worked.
You at Tar Heel?
My mother worked at Duke for 20-some plus years as a DTO operator.
Okay.
My sister right now is the executive for the chancellor at North Carolina Central.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we got
deep
ties.
roots.
We
You
got
got deep
some ties
roots.
over there.
So speaking of deep roots, before
And
we
I worked. Hold on. I gotta tell them this.
here it come.
And I worked in radio, Foxy 107 and 97.5.
Okay.
I worked in both of them.
Yeah.
The morning man.
7.5. That's legendary. Yeah.
Well, I'm a Tar Heel too, so yeah.
You went to UNC?
Yeah, I did my fellowship, my
Okay.
postdoc fellowship.
I was about to
then-
say you can't wear both hats in that territory. You got it better. When
listen,
you going up
listen.
Tobacco Road,
Hey, no.
you better pick one.
Here, you can appreciate
claim
this.
that, bro.
You
Yeah, pick
can
one.
appreciate this. I get paid by Duke, but
But
my
he got
heart
it.
is
It's it.
Carolina blue.
Nah.
You know what that reminds me of?
Oh.
That nasty light blue
Oh, Lord,
cold
here it is.
drink when Carolina won the championship. I was excited, but that was the nastiest. That's about the same taste in my mouth.
That's all- that's all
First of all,
it's
which national championship? Right.
Which one you talking about? Was that a blue line? That sounded like a blue line.
So I was telling him, like, this history goes deep. All of this, everything that I am, all of this is his fault.
So you know I had to come back. I had to think about it before I said that.
Is that not the truth?
That's not the truth.
How did it start?
You did it yourself. He did it himself.
Unwillingly at the time, because I didn't know.
He did. He was a little skeptical about media.
Yes.
He was skeptical.
Very.
But all we did was talk about it one time and do it.
Hey, man.
And it changed.
He was hooked.
Then look. Then when I saw him, I'd be like, Dr. Gray.
Hey, there's no tape.
Hey,
No tape, no
can
internet.
I talk?
Okay.
Would you return my call?
Okay.
It's just like today he called me. I ain't know the number because I don't have his new number.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, really?
So watch this.
Did he change the conversation already?
Watch what I learned from him, though. Could it be because of your brain health and aging?
No. No. I have my moments.
Okay.
I have my moments. I have my moments. But Dr. Turner, welcome to have this conversation too, because I know this is important. As much as we sitting here and having this conversation, Dr. Griggs and I go 20 years plus. Yeah. And when they told me that this was coming, I said, "Wow, this is not only in recognition to what's going on with the NFL and how they've changed how you play the game. What makes you want to be a part of this?" And I know brain health is something that black folks don't talk about it that much.
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I'm gonna bring it kind of a full circle way. So I was fortunate enough. I played football for 16 years. I had a career both in the old USFL.
Okay.
And played in the Canadian Football League, and I had a cup of coffee in the NFL. Right. And so I started thinking a lot about things, Junior Seau, committing suicide,
Right.
Dave Duerson, and all of this other stuff. And, and in the NFL players, about 70% of them are black, right? So we're already overrepresented there, right? And when we were, not long ago, we were speaking to the chapter leaders for 100 Black Men, and the room was full with about 100, 150 men in there, and we asked them, how many of you in your life at any given time have played football? And 2/3 of the room have put up their hands. So that's how important football is to us, right?
But then we followed with, how many of you have had a concussion?
Right.
Almost every hand was up.
Everybody.
Exactly.
I had a cup of coffee in high school. And I still got it.
Right. So there you go. Right. So you got to think about it that way. And we were recently talking about we were talking about like mental health issues. And so Beasley Reese,
The room got quiet.
Exactly. Beasley Reese, who was the I better tell this quick, right? I know they're doing this, but Beasley Reese, who was at the time, he was the president of the NFL Alumni Association.
Okay.
And he said to me, Doc, we want to work with you. He goes, but is there any good news about our brains, right? He goes, because all I ever hear is when you play football, we're worried about CT and all this stuff, but is there anything good? And so that made me realize that we need to talk about the things, the risk factors that maybe cause some problems later in our life, but we also need to talk about the protective factors. What are we doing right as Black men to protect our brain health, right? So that's what our conversation really is all about, taking a holistic approach, so because we're all aging, and how do we make sure that we eat right, we sleep right, we exercise? What are the things that we need to do to protect our brains, as well as the things that maybe have put us at risk, and we need to be able to look at those signs, maybe early signs of Alzheimer's and dementia. So that's why I'm in part of this conversation.
Is that a factor when we start talking about Alzheimer's?
Sure.
And dementia?
Well, I mean, I can take that, but I'm going to let Dr. Griggs talk about this, because this is really important.
Yeah, the thing is, having this conversation is always enlightening, because there's a lot of folks that think that Alzheimer's is the only type of dementia. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. That's a structural thing. There's ischemic. There's different types of dementia caused by different systemic reasons. And taking the get checked, get fit, get moving approach to take care of your body can help prevent or either slow down the progression as we age. In the Black community, a lot of times we really don't talk about it, and we accept certain things. Well, I just keep getting forgetful, and it's just normal aging, and it's not. And there are things that could have been done to slow down the progression and slow down the cognitive things, because that's the one everyone associates it with memory.
Right.
And they're always surprised when there's personality changes. There's critical thinking when you hear about someone getting lost on a route that they've taken 1,000 times, and it's usually the caregiver or a loved one that will notice and report it because that person going through it, that's suffering
Been
through
around
it.
them that long, though.
Well, they've been around them, but you're not going to tell anyone.
Right.
You'll compensate. Hey,
Right.
man, what's the word for, the thing? That wood thing, man.
Right.
The pencil? Yeah, no, not that one, the blue one. Oh, the pen.
you know,
Yeah,
the pen,
yeah.
yeah, right.
Paying attention to those things. So it's about raising awareness, not just for us ourselves, but for our loved ones to protect us, to improve everyone's quality of life.
As you get older, or if you are in this, system of playing sports where there is some type of collision or something of that sort, do you get checked out for that? Is there a check to see, wait a minute, you got a couple of brain issues that
Well,
you need?
this is a really important kind of question that you're asking. The way that I'll say this, and again, I'm not from Louisiana, but I know how important football is here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, look at LSU, right? You lose 2 games, you lose the coach. The coach is gone. You could be 10-2,
I
but
see
if you
you've been
lose,
following.
if you lose 2 games, the wrong 2 games, you're not going to be employed
You
anymore.
lose some basketball at UNC, you better run.
That's right. That's right.
Lose 2 games at the Saints. It'll be in preseason. Watch what they say.
Is that right?
Oh, man.
Preseason.
Preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's serious.
So we know football is really important, but I'll give you. Let me put it this way. I have a good friend who lives in North Carolina, and her kid played high school football in North Carolina. And then he was, they have a prep year nowadays. You can go. He went to a prep school up in New Jersey, and in the state of New Jersey, in order to play high school football, you have to have a baseline neurocognitive test.
Wow.
It's mandatory.
Amazing.
It's mandatory.
It's
now.
mandatory, right? Just like, when you have to go get a physical and mom's got to sign off on, the doctor got to sign on, you have to have a baseline neurological test.
My daughter's uncle played ball. I forgot the name of it. But he was in Danville, Virginia.
Okay, right.
And it was one of those schools that got you, one of the prep schools
Yeah,
got
yeah,
you ready
exactly,
for
exactly.
for a year
Yeah,
university.
exactly, like Fort Union or something like that.
Yeah, it was military.
Yeah, exactly.
And he had to go through the same thing to play basketball. I was like, wait a minute, basketball?
Well, basketball players get some serious
Well,
concussions.
you never,
going.
North Carolina, you never got hit in the face with the ball or caught an elbow and been like we used to call it a
No,
stinger.
I could play.
We
I
used to call-
I understand if that's what happened to you. It's all right.
Yeah. You never heard that mouse in the house and ran into that elbow?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
don't
I
say
tell
that.
people this all the time. You get, what we're worried about in football is repetitive head impacts, but the concussions from basketball, even though you have fewer of them, they're generally more significant or severe. Why? Because when you fall, what do you hit your head on?
You hitting your head
on the hardwood
that
floor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So those are big issues. So the point that I'm trying to make is what's really important, how to make sure that you're protecting yourself as an athlete and you're protecting your child, is you want to get that baseline neurocognitive examination. And then you always, what I tell people all the time now, again, there's lots of other reasons around this, but get your baseline when the beginning of the season. And once the season is over, get your baseline again.
Speaking of that, I'm going to kind of get off that track for a minute, and I want to say this too. It seems like the older we get, sometimes we start forgetting things that you would remember. Is that part of just getting old?
Yeah, well, in a sense, yes.
Or for some of those folks that don't like the word old,
Yeah.
mature.
So your brain can shrink. You start to take in less water. And as there's less fluid to surround the brain, there's certain parts that require to be buoyant. So that as it does become a thing, as we get age, a lot of times we tend to eat less, we tend to drink less. There are a lot of other things. We have chronic conditions that we don't take care of, peripheral vascular disease, progressive diabetes, undiagnosed or unmanaged hypertension. And if you think of the brain, so this is the example, if you think of an egg, imagine the yolk inside attached by strings or webs to the inside. With a concussion, imagine dropping the egg and shaking it up. That's kind of what happens. It's inside the shell,
And then
the
it's just
yolk
beating
inside
up.
the shell.
Right.
But imagine the attachments being detached and having to repair. Well, it's the same thing as you age, as you don't take care of your body. Okay, we'll go immediately to the fall. That's obvious. But as you don't take care of to get your proper hydration, as you don't take care of your blood pressure, you start damaging the blood vessels.
Right.
And as those things happen, that blood supplies different areas of the brain that works in the hippocampus and other parts for your memory.
For an African American male, though, this is one of the conversations we're actually going to have. And Dr. Greggs, I know that you're going to be somewhere close, but on the 20th, a young lady who is a very good coach, she's going to be here from Detroit. and we're going to have this conversation. I promised my my audience that I was going to do this. It's been a minute since I promised them this, but I finally got it together. And on the 20th
Okay.
of this month, we're going to do emotions, men and talking about their emotions and what they go through. Because I really do feel that, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't try to play one on the radio nor television, but I really do that men suck up a lot of their issues, a lot of their emotions, hurt, pain, any of that. And I'm trying to figure out, I was trying to figure it out, and my audience called me. It's like, hey, this is the reason why that black men do that, because we've been told all our lives, don't let nobody see you crying, suck it up, you know. We don't show our emotions good. Does that harm us more so than help us?
Well, I'll put it this way. You know, we have feelings. It's like pain, right? Pain is both good and it's bad, right? Because pain is good because it tells you something is wrong, right? That's your body's natural response to tell you something is wrong and it needs to be taken care of. But if you neglect that pain, then you really ain't going to be in a bad problem. It's really it causes you a lot of problems down the road. So what I think one of our biggest issues for particularly for black men, and I really believe this, was one of the most important things for us is respect. You better respect us, right?
Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name.
You better respect us, right? And how we've been raised is you can't be soft and get respect,
Right.
Right. So therefore, not only out in the public, but in anything, like, you know, how many of us have ever seen our grandfathers cry? Right. That's just not something that's there. So now we're talking about how important it is to be in touch with your feelings and all of those other things. Right. So sometimes that masculinity can help us in lots of powerful ways, but that sometimes it can make us very vulnerable. And what we're trying to say, particularly around when we're talking about brain health, and it's not just injury, but it's mental health, is maybe talking about alcohol or drug use and abuse, is that it's okay to say I need help. And reaching out to folks. And one of the most important things that we need to understand, even if we're talking about dementia or we're talking about any of these things, you're never alone. The only time you're alone is when you keep your mouth shut and you don't share with other people. But once you open your mouth, you realize there's a lot of other folks going through what you're going through, and you can then start to get the help that you need.
But how about those, and this might sound a little crazy, but I will say this. How about those that don't know that they need help?
That's really important. But you know what I say about that? What we all, and I'm learning this again as I'm just been down here. Brother Griggs has had me down here a couple times. We're talking all the time. One of the things that is so powerful from what I've seen in the little time that I've been here, that y'all care about each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Y'all don't leave each other out there by themselves. Y'all like being connected is really important.
Right.
To folks that I've seen.
Connectivity here is different than connectivity up north.
That's right.
That's why we ended up from here, from North Carolina.
Right.
It's totally
connectivity here is a whole lot different.
We scan the room, even if we're walking down the street, to see if we make eye contact with somebody. I know him from somewhere. Hey, baby, how you doing? You all right?
You say,
and
hey,
we meet
baby, in Carolina, what you get? Who you talking to?
Yeah, exactly. No question.
Because I went home and ended up bringing the dialect with me to North Carolina, and I was like, "Thank you, babe." And somebody serving the like, "Who are you talking to?"
Right.
Like, what? They were like, "Don't call me baby." I'm like, "Okay, no offense. That's just a, show of gratitude." And they were like, "Oh, okay." Then I had to really check myself. Now, say something like that you're used to in North Carolina, and take it to New York.
Right. It's a whole different story.
It's a whole different
Hey,
script there
y'all.
too.
Yeah.
Y'all. Right.
What is Tay?
That and then you walk up on somebody here, everybody look at you, speak. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Da da da. I don't speak and say nothing in New York.
Get on an elevator and not speak here.
Right.
And watch what'll happen.
So I think that's really where the challenge is, right? Because you can count on people who got your back, right? But you also got to be willing to, say to your boy, "Hey man, I've noticed something. Like, what's going on?"
Right.
Like I care enough about you to
Something
tell
going on
you
with you.
we got. That's right. We need to figure out this and take care of this.
I hate to drop a historical bomb, but I gotta say it. that behavior has historical roots. When there was a time when we were here, if you showed emotion as a black male, you could die.
That's right. That's right.
Really?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Wait. What do you mean? How far you going back?
I'm going all the way back.
Okay, all right.
So I'm going back.
I thought you meant like recently.
I'm not talking in New Orleans. I meant here in
Yeah.
the U.S. When we were
Right.
brought
You
here,
better not cry.
you better not show any emotion. How you
Right.
doing? I'm fine. You good? Good.
That's right. That's right.
Does it hurt? No. And you told to protect your children. You said don't show any emotion. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And it had been passed down. So it had been extra. If anything, any malady, any health malady was wrong, you would hide
That's right.
your family members. And I can remember growing up my own family, other people's houses. If Uncle Snooks was having a bad day, he goes
Right.
in the back. He's in his pajamas. Oh, he's fine, and just leave him alone. You had to hide because any vulnerability put the family in jeopardy.
That's
And
right. That's
we've
right.
evolved now to have whole conferences talking about brain health. We're getting to the mental health. To have whole conferences to talking about it.
Hey, let's go one step further. It's in medical journals, and people are just now within the last 5 years debunking this.
But why?
But
Why
listen,
was it?
I'm gonna hand this over to brother over there. Is because for the longest time, the medical community believed that black people tolerated pain at a much
here we
higher
go.
level than white folks. Right? Am I right or wrong?
No, actually, that has its roots here.
And how has
embarrassingly.
so talk to us and how has that affected us as a community
Well, you
and our
gonna make me
community
go get a
health?
protest sign or something. For real?
Yeah, it's, sadly. And there is a Broussard paper that came out. I had my students read it prior to COVID. I had all my students read it so they could understand how deeply seated it is a lot of times. And it had been passed on for so long that people just automatically assumed it was true.
That's right.
And it's not. So where does it show? Where does it manifest clinically? When you have someone that's African American showing up with a sickle cell crisis, drug seeking.
Right.
That's right.
I'm not drug seeking. I am in pain. What works? Morphine. Anybody that time someone's asking for morphine, that's not normal pain.
No.
That's not drug seeking.
That's excruciating.
Yeah, that it's bad. So again, it's dealing with it's all it goes back to myths and disinformation and dispelling those myths by coming out in the open and talking about we're not quite at the point we talk about feelings, but
Right,
we can show
right.
them so people
Yeah.
understand.
So are we anywhere close where we need to be when we're communicating what's going on?
Well, this is why we're here, right? Because what Dr. Greg and I have been we've been plotting a lot, right? And part of this conference, we're here for the Black Men's Brain Health and Aging Conference, right? And today is a pre-conference. And one of the things, the reason that today is so important is because we recognize that in order to address brain health in our community, we need to come from multiple different angles. And so one of them is people we know. You want to go to a doctor who looks like you. You want to go to a doctor who comes from your community. You want to go to a doctor who speaks the language that you speak, right? And so we know that we don't have enough doctors and researchers, people of color. So instead of saying, why don't we have and complaining about it, what my group is we've just decided to bring a bunch of young, brilliant people and train them to be able to do brain health and aging research going from a very culturally informed perspective so they can go back into the neighborhoods and communities that they work in. So that way someone can say, hey, doc, I feel comfortable. Can I talk to you for a moment?
Let's take the break here for a minute. We'll come back. Because I want to get as much information about the conference in itself. Because I saw the agenda. I was like, good Lord, you got some heavy hitters. There's some heavy hitters on this conference. More coming up in a minute, y'all. And you can get your calls in right now. 504-582-9422. More next.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
So, just how chaotic is the Trump White House? Well, let me there's an unbridled power grab, shooting from the hip, poor judgment, lawlessness, and challenging the U.S. Constitution. The most egregious act by President Trump so far is his pardons of the January 6 rioters who stormed the nation's capital in an attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power. Specifically, they tried to stop Congress from ratifying the election of President Joe Biden. Many people were hurt in that violent attack, including 174 police officers. There were several deaths attributed to the mob attack by Trump supporters. Even some Republicans pushed back against Trump's move to issue pardons for the 1,500 criminal defendants, and especially for those convicted of committing violence against police officers. After all, the GOP is reputed to be the party of law and order, aren't they? Still, there's an entirely eerie silence among the majority of the Republicans on Capitol Hill when it comes to the questionable actions by President Trump, many of them resorting to mental gymnastics to validate Mr. Trump's decisions. That has not been the case for the judiciary. Recently, a federal judge placed a stop on the president's executive order to temporarily freeze federal grant funds that were meant to help the people. The action to freeze those funds caused chaos and confusion for cities and states that depend on the money to fund public programs that, again, I mentioned, help the people, all people, Trump supporters included. The Trump administration has backed off its intent to freeze federal financial assistance, except in cases where the money is intended for DEI, climate change, and so-called woke ideology. The White House contends the issue is simply an attempt to bring federal spending under control. The president's critics opine that the issue is simply about a would-be authoritarian trying to shape the country in his image. Democracy and the Constitution be damned. I'm not surprised. I'm afraid, folks, this is just the beginning of a long 4 years as the president takes his win as a mandate to demolish programs that took years to develop. So let's face the naked truth. The man who would be king is an unapologetic, unguided missile from which not even Trump supporters are safe. How about that? This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Hi, it's Dr. Shepard. I'm coming up next on the Reality Check on WBOK.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the Reality Check. Weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Governor Kathy Hochul warns that President Trump's tariffs on Canadian goods will economically impact New Yorkers. She notes the economic synergy between New York and Canada and the importance of easy cross-border trade for local farmers and manufacturers. This week's business highlights include auto sale numbers today and job openings on Tuesday. Analysts expect a drop in January's job creation to around 175,000 from December's 256,000. The NBA is buzzing with news that the Lakers are trading Anthony Davis to the Mavericks for Luka Doncic. Doncic, 25, is a 5-time All-NBA first-team selection and MVP finalist, while Davis, 31, is a 4-time All-NBA first-team honoree. And Kendrick Lamar took home Record of the Year. The rapper won the honor for his hit Not Like Us. Lamar took home 5 awards in total for that record. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
February is Black History Month, a time to honor the leaders and change makers who paved the way. At New Schools for New Orleans, we're celebrating the next generation of trailblazers, our students. Louisiana recently made historic gains on the nation's report card, climbing from the 49th to 32nd in just 5 years, our highest ranking ever. With progress in both ELA and math, we're proving what's possible. Tune in for Talk That on 12:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. as we uplift Black excellence, past, present, and future.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, love. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, love.
All right, here we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. Mr. Elmore, what you say?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, thank you, Doc, because you're giving some good information. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. I'm glad to be here.
I know it's Doctor you were talking to.
Definitely glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Look, I want to ask you a question. You know, I think being a man in my 70s, I pray when every day when I think or even feel I'm having a mental situation that I have to deal with. But it's not level what I'm saying, but you can appreciate what I'm about to say. When I worked all my life, and I'm still working in my 70s, but I always question, like, when you call it's different today a little bit now. Society in general, that's why we as the Afro-American men feel differently. Now, don't let the way I say this. I'll call years ago and say, I don't see mentally, I don't feel good. Specifically, how much is a physical issue. Society in general, never felt comfortable. I can't call up my job and say, I got a headache, I don't feel good mentally. We would say, oh, my back's hurting or something. Because years ago, you have to say that. Now, you can't tell that. You just say, I'm not coming to work. But the thing about it, I never felt comfortable if I tell you as a boss, yeah, man, I'm not coming in, I don't feel mentally right. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I didn't feel mentally, and there had days I had mental challenges. If I knew I was doing a specific job where I could either could harm myself or my coworkers, guess what, brother? I called in. I didn't go. I wouldn't tell you I had mental issues, but we all do. I think we don't want to say we have mental challenges. But again, I just want to ask you one thing, Doc. What could I do? What can we do? Just basic understanding. How can we help our brain in a way where we can kind of like prepare ourselves for mental challenges, if you will, just like we do physical understanding to do physical things. What mentally can we do? And I'll hang up so I can hear you.
Don't hang up.
That's an excellent question. You know, one of the first things that you can do is something that people just don't get. It's not necessarily medicine. It's sleep. Sleep. The body needs, the average sleep cycle takes 1.5 hours to cycle through all 4 phases 1, 2, 3, and 4. And our bodies at a minimum need to cycle through 4 of those cycles. So if you take that 1.5 and multiply by 4, you want to get between 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And the problem is, as we age, we tend to sleep less. We tend to do a lot of things less. We tend to not drink enough water. We drink less. We move less. The best thing you can do for yourself, we were just talking about, Gerard I thought he was about to go in on me for losing weight, but I started, don't you start.
I didn't go
don't
in
you
on
start. Look, hey, man, don't you start.
Look,
but one of the best things you can do for yourself,
Dr. Scarecrow, you're fine.
See, is it's connectivity with people. It's get checked, get fit, get moving, do your screens, pay attention to yourself. I just gave a lecture earlier today about screenings. Not all health screenings, have to be at a doctor's office. You should make an assessment of yourself every day. Are you forgetting things? How much sleep have you had? How many fruits and vegetables are you eating? And then take time for yourself every day. We're living in stressful times. Unplug and go for a walk. I recommend at least a 30-minute walk with no phone, no, not on the phone. Take it with you in case something happens, but go for a walk. The American Heart Association says 150 minutes of exercise a week. That's 30 minutes, 5 days a week. As a kid, I ain't take no watch because I was scared. My grandma made me come home. I just kind of went by the sunlight and when I was tired. So start the same way. Take a walk in your neighborhood. Take a safe place, undistracted. Eat a good meal, drink water, and make sure you're getting enough sleep. As you age, you'd be surprised what it will do for your memory. We're walking around constantly tired because we're bombarded with the hormones that shorten our attention span and do things that cause us to forget, like cortisol.
So, Doc, I got a question for you, following up what you just said and about the call, which was excellent. But can you talk about the role of maybe drinking water and dehydration? And the other thing I want to talk about is I read an article that said as you get older, our tolerance, just drinking alcohol, not even a lot of it, but it has an adverse effect on. It's harder for you to do things like sleep, and that kind of affects your sleep. So can you talk about a couple of those things?
Yeah, Miss Elmore, while he's doing that, you done then, huh? Miss Elmore?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Yes,
Okay.
thank you for the,
Did that answer? Did that help, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. Tremendously, because it took some weight off me because, we all deal with a lot of mental challenges. I'm not scared to say as a man I have challenges, but I think, thank God we got you and Gerard where you give people like myself, working stiff guy, a little chance to feel a little better,
And here's the thing, Michelle, with us getting less sleep, we've forgotten the benefits of taking a nap.
Yeah.
My grandmother would take a nap. I would take a nap, and everybody would feel better. All of a sudden, I can go outside and play, and she's in a good mood. Naps. We need naps to make up for the sleep. I want to get to Dr. Turner's question. Yeah. Everything that you
said.
said.
Miss Elmore, thank you, sir.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you, fellas.
All right, go ahead.
Everything that you said. Okay, so I'll say it this way: the body is made up of proteins, carbs, fats, and water, right? And with a little sugar and salt sprinkled in. Basically, we are what we eat. We are what we're composed of in the elements, right? If your body, if anything is made up of 60 to 70% water, what should you be taking in more if you truly are what you eat?
Water.
You only need to be 1.5% dehydrated before you start to experience mental changes and emotional changes. 1.5% dehydrated, right? Wow. I'm tying this to the alcohol question because alcohol is one of the most dehydrating agents that you can imagine. If you don't believe me, pour some isopropyl on the table and watch it dry
Let me be the first to say I drink to that.
As we both sip water. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
What is going on now, though? Because I am now, and maybe it's just that I'm paying attention, but I am now starting to hear a lot of black women and men talk about they got cancer. And I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't heard, especially women, I'm going to say black women, breast cancer, cervical cancer, breast cancer, I think, more so than anything else. What is going on? Is it the food that they're eating? Is there something in the supply of water? What is going on?
So the answer, just a 40,000 square foot view, is absolutely and yes, in that we are living in a more processed environment. We talk about eating ultra processed foods and processed foods, but we live in a processed environment. We drink water from bottles. We grew up in North Carolina, right?
We used to get it from the well.
The well, the hose on the side of the house, the drink out of a cup coming through. The fruits and vegetables we eat are more processed, but we're doing less natural things. We're staying up all night looking at white light and blue light on a phone, experiencing trauma on our own. All these things cause inflammation in our body, which can be triggers for free radicals, these things that can bounce around and cause cells to start multiplying instead of stopping and causing cancer. The other thing is that because there's more awareness, you're getting more people screened, which means you're going to find more cancers. So it's a combination of all of them, not just one. That's my...
Well, Doc, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm wondering, because we think about this again in the area of brain health and aging, early screening, early diagnosis. Can you talk about, when we mentioned this before when we were on stage, but in all different forms of chronic diseases, what's the issue or the benefit of early detection?
Early detection, first of all, that's why I wanted to delineate between Alzheimer's and dementia to let people know that there's more than one. There's several types of dementia. The bulk, Alzheimer's is one that we know of, and it's the one that we talk about a lot. But the other dementias can be caused by chronic diseases, things like peripheral vascular disease, high cholesterol, hypertension. This because we're the obesity and the associated diseases that are attached to it, sedentary lifestyle, not getting enough sleep. All of these contribute over time. What happens is I mean, you know what your boys, they'll tell you, hey man, I can do this. Well, you must like it. You keep going back. The body will do that in a minute. Well, apparently we want to be inflamed. Apparently he's fine with just forgetting. So I'm just going to set his blood pressure at 160 over 110, and we're either going to stroke out or he's going to live with it because he doesn't want to do anything about it. So it's important to get screened. And I go back to what I said earlier, and I'm glad you brought it up. Screening doesn't stop at the doctor's office. Your doctor's visit should be an educational visit. And a lot of times we feel afraid that cortisol makes us sit there and not ask questions. We nod our heads. The whole purpose of this whole journey that Gerard kicked me into years and years and years.
He made more money than me. I kicked him in too. I kicked him in the bank.
Yeah, he kicked him into the bank.
It's to empower you to be the expert on you. Well, no, doc, that's not right. I can do serial 7s, but take it to serial 9s, and that's when you have to, subtract from 100 and go by 7. I can go to a certain number and I can't, but no, you're fine. No, I'm not fine. You need to be the expert on you. You need to be your expert chef. You need to be your expert exercise trainer. You need to be your expert speech pathologist, sleep pathologist. You need to be the expert on your brain. When you feel off, you should be able to detect that first.
Yeah. I got somebody online that's asking a question. She said many women my age were suffering from sciatica nerve pain, vertigo, and low iron. Mm-hmm. What is that?
Well, it could be a number of things. It could be one could be related to the other. Low iron. The big issue is why.
So supplements, is that something good to do?
Well, the problem with supplements is that they're not FDA regulated, and you only have to have 1.5% of what's advertised for you to advertise it, which is why a lot of times
So some of the advertising is not necessarily what it is that you think you're getting.
Makes for great rainbow pea. Yeah. The best way to get your fruits and vegetables, get your vitamins, is to eat them in healthy foods, and then talk to your doctor. A lot of women do have issues with low iron prior to menopause. Again, it's something to talk to your doctor about. The vertical, and all those things could be caused independently, or they could be related to.
But I really think, though, when we start talking about fruits, vegetables, and we start looking at how they are being advertised, what's the marketing scheme behind there? You hear all the time, "Oh, this is natural. This is what is the other term?
Organic.
Organic.
Yes.
And then we find out, not really.
Yeah. It's
the definition of what organic is.
Yeah, I can't say the colloquial term for it, but it's grown in fertilizer, supposedly.
Right.
It doesn't say whether or not it's natural fertilizer or that the animals that the fertilizer came
There's
from.
Some doo-doo.
Right. Or
I helped you out.
You don't know what chemicals these animals have been exposed to.
Right.
But again, when you look at something like a Cologuard, Cologuard's the step, the in-office test that you can do for colorectal cancer. What they look for when they analyze your stool is DNA changes, right? So if we are what we eat, and we're eating a bunch of things that we can't process, let's take that to animals, right? You're going to use that same unprocessed chemical and grow fruit in it. Again, what I keep saying, we are what we eat. You want to put healthy and natural things in your body. Well, what about the animals and things that you're growing, the food that you're growing? Is it natural? So there's a lot of things. That's why we want people to grow their own food, farm to table. We want people to drink their own water, and we want people to, the big thing is, and I'm dovetailing this, we want people to stay engaged. Mm-hmm. And that's one way to help put off the dementia, the one way to slow the progression, the one way to have accountability, and the one way that we can know you can do your own screenings and to have those talks.
It sounds like to me I just need to grow my own food. That's what it sounds like. But Doc, what can we expect? Because I know I'm running out of time with you. What can we expect? Can anybody come?
Yeah, absolutely.
To this conference?
Well, first let me start by saying I am absolutely really over the moon excited by the fact that, this is our 4th annual Black Men's Brain Health Conference. Mm-hmm. We partner with the Alzheimer's Association, and we also partner with the NFL Alumni Association. We had a grant from National Institute of Aging that allows us to have our conference every year at the Super Bowl city. So we are the week before the Super
Whatever
Bowl.
city is that.
That's right. So we've been last year we're in Vegas, this year in New Orleans. So getting a chance to
And
figure
this
out
is
the differences.
This was the
between
best.
the-
It's the best.
We need to go next year, bro.
We're gonna have microphones. We'll try.
Exactly. But I tell you what, being in New Orleans, what has really allowed us is this is our first time we're on the
New
campus of an
Orleans.
HBC.
New Orleans.
New Orleans, right?
And not Xavier. Xavier.
Exactly.
New Orleans.
Did he say Xavier?
No, I didn't say. I did not. No. But I was just gonna say this is the first time.
I was going to say, ooh.
This is the first time we've been on an HBCU, and we were talking about this earlier, and the love, the genuine caring, then receiving us as like family is really, really important. And so I'm excited about showcasing the wonderful people who are at Xavier and all the beautiful things that they do already to help address issues around Black men's brain health and aging. So you can come on down in person, you go online and register at mensbrainhealth.org.
Say it again.
mensbrainhealth.org. All right? Just go online and register there. And if you can't make it in person, we actually stream it online so you can see it from your own home while you work, while you're on your smartphone or anything else like that. Or you register, come on in. The conference is free. You do not have to pay for it. We even provide you a little bit of a breakfast. We give you some lunch. And then tomorrow we're having a social mixer. After we get done, we're going to Raise Uptown, right? So we want people to come on over there. We feed you for free, the whole bit. But come in, you'll hear some of the most really knowledgeable people in the world around these topics that we're talking about. So we're there on Tuesday and Wednesday.
What's the expectations, though? What's the expectations of doing
Sure.
this?
Well, and this one is really different than most of the other ones because we're going to talk about issues around clinical trials in the Black community.
Ooh.
Right? That's exactly what we're going to talk about.
Give me your hand.
That's
I'm glad. Look, notice I didn't let him start like that. I didn't let him.
Oh yeah.
So that's a big complaint.
So again,
Because Black people don't get invited to those clinical
well,
trials.
so here we
Yeah,
go. Now
that
we're
is-
talking
come on.
about what we want to hear from. This is not an academic conference. Although we're going to have brilliant minds there, this is really centered on giving people in the community a voice. We want to understand why Black people choose to be involved in clinical trials or what prevents them from being in clinical
What we
trials.
hear is history.
Okay.
When we go back to the Tuskegee Airmen, Tuskegee experiment and all those things that happened in Carolina with the sterilizing of
That's
the
right.
women.
That's right.
But people don't know that it was an
But that
African
was
American
the-
nurse.
That was the history
Yes.
part of it. And I can guarantee you this, I'm going to get in trouble on my own show. So there
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
That people are repeating something that they don't know the history of.
That's what we've been hearing. We've been hearing
so
that.
we're repeating things that we
Syphilis
heard.
syphilis doesn't transmit that way.
Right. So we're repeating things that we heard, but we don't know the history.
Wait, so here's where I'm coming from, right? Because first of all, we always say this, and this is so true. Black folks in America, we're not a monolithic population. We're not all the same. We come so many different shades, colors, backgrounds, and everything.
Right.
So we can't just assume that we all do something for the same reason, or we all do something or don't do something for the same reason. And I put it like this, right? Being from up north Jersey, right? When COVID Central first came in, it was in Jamaica, Queens, right? And when the vaccinations came in, older Black adults, they were the fastest and the earliest adopters of the vaccination for COVID.
Really?
In their same household, a younger generation was rejecting
Right.
those vaccinations because they're like, we don't know what's in there. So how could people, matter of fact, I would say the people who are the oldest, they had the most reason to reject because they lived through Tuskegee.
They lived through it.
Why did they accept it and why didn't the young folks accept it? We are trying to have that conversation.
So would you say that the older folks were the most vulnerable, though?
I would say so at
Yeah,
that point.
that's probably
they're
why.
definitely-
That's exactly why. That's 1,000% why. They, you know,
But we saw those younger folks that said, I know the history and I know all these different things in history that happened and I'm not going to take it. And then we think that younger folks think that they're not going to die.
Well, here's what I would say. And again, this is why we need everybody's voice in the room. And Dr. Griggs got some things he can add to this too. But I want people to understand a couple of things. That Alzheimer's and dementia in Black America, we are twice as likely to be diagnosed with the disease than white people.
Wow.
Twice as likely, almost 100% more likely to be diagnosed. We're at that greater risk.
I gave you the answer.
But don't we also have?
But let me give you this.
No,
I
want you to comment on this. But don't we also have deserts when it comes?
We
to...
do, but
okay.
But I want us to understand this, right? As a doctor, he can come into this because we can go all day on all this. But we are twice as likely, 100% more at risk than the white population, right? We get diagnosed much later in the disease progression.
Right.
But here's the thing that's so important, that of historically all of the Alzheimer's research, clinical trials, Black Americans we only comprise of 5% of the population of people who are participating in those trials. Right? So that means, and of that 5%, 75% are women. And only 25% are men. So that means that when they test these drugs or whatever and they get released into the community, we actually, because we didn't show up in the trials, we don't know how those drugs react to our unique profile, health profiles.
Our makeup is a little bit different.
Which contributes to the fact when you go to the doctor as a Black male and you tell me, hey, you look like you have early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's, here, you can take this pill. I ain't taking that.
Right.
Why not? Because I don't think it's going to work on me. So you know what? I'm not going back to that doctor again. I'll be good. And that's the progression.
Right. So what I expect out of this conference and out of these conversations is, how do we empower ourselves as a community to get the resources and to get the information that we need, so that way we can demand to have better health outcomes.
So doesn't Big Pharma need to be a part of this?
And Big Pharma's begging us to have access to get in a room like tomorrow.
Yeah,
but you know what? We say we have to. That's right. There you go. Talk about it. Go ahead and talk about it. Talk about it.
Because you're going to end up making the same distrust that we're dealing with. Oh, see, they got the pharma in the room. This is all manufactured. They're talking all that stuff. No, we need to get the real first. And we need to have a closed door conversation first.
So you're doing the closed door
That's
conversation,
exactly
get the
right.
data,
So
and
we can
then
know what
present it to Big Pharma.
So we can know what to ask for.
Right.
It might be unique needs. Like, we don't necessarily need it. It could be a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 trial. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know yet, because we haven't had that closed door session yet. And that's what we're trying to get to. What's the real reason? Like,
what's bothering me about this whole conversation is we just now having this.
Yeah.
You like one of the first?
Well, as far as the funding sources go, I am.
And I'm not being disparaging. I'm not at all. I'm just saying that we just doing this.
That's a great question. But as far as the National Institute of Health funding as a resource, right? And as far as the Alzheimer's Association, not only am I the first, I am the only.
Don't tell me that.
Gerard, what's happened every time we've tried to have brain health? When you try to have a brain health or mental health conversation on the block, in the barbershop, anywhere, what happens? Oh, there he go. I'll come back when y'all finish. What you got to say?
You know what's interesting, though, and I'm going to use this as an example of what I'm getting ready to put in the question I'm going to put in. But whenever something tragic happens in the country, when it's somebody white, and I'm not saying anything bad about white people, but I noticed that the commentators and those folks that's doing the news, or if they got a live shot or something like that, when it's usually somebody that doesn't look like me or you, there's a conversation about mental health. When it's somebody that looks like me and you, we get the thug conversation. And I'm trying to figure out what's the difference here with somebody that needs mental health. Why do you think this person of Caucasian persuasion needs mental health help, but when somebody that looks like me or is of Black nature that has melanin in their skin, why do they end up being a thug when that's not natural behavior?
Well, I think, first of all, and I'm going to take it
Does that make sense?
I'm going to take it in a slightly different direction, but I think what we have to have is we have to empower ourselves and our own community to control our narrative. We don't have to be talking about our brothers and our sisters in that light anymore. One of the things we had this conversation last night. We're trying to hash this through, but when you're exposed to trauma and you've seen some things, you've been exposed to some things, right? What does that do to you, both mentally, emotionally, but physically, right? How do we make sure that we understand how to approach our brothers and sisters holistically? instead of pathologizing them.
Interesting.
Pathologizing or stigmatizing.
That's right.
That's where he's going.
So this is going on today? Till
No, it starts tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow?
Starts tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll be at the Student Union on McCaffrey Ballroom, 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts at 8 o'clock. You register at 8. Get there at 9. Make sure you get a little bit of breakfast. We get you sat there, right? So, and then the whole thing is about participation, right? It's about actively engaging and letting us hear from you and what we need to know. How
Okay.
can we work in as a community
And
around
it's
these
free.
ideas? That's right. It's free on Tuesday and Wednesday, tomorrow, and on Wednesday here at Xavier. Right? I didn't say Xavier. I said
Now,
Xavier.
let me go ahead on and tell him something
I was
else.
about to say.
When somebody walk up to you and say, "Where you going to school?" Don't tell them you college.
Okay. All right.
Don't.
High school only, but since you can go to high school here,
Okay.
just say, "No, I'm not from here."
Oh, is that
Yeah,
what
just,
you said?
just say
Okay.
I'm not from here.
Just
Just say I'm not from here.
Not
All
from
right.
here.
Okay.
Don't tell them I made the mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he getting ready to crack the mic and laugh at me. So, gentlemen, I know y'all got to go. We got to take a break here as well. But I'm glad we had the conversation. Yeah, come back.
Hey, anytime you'll have me, and we're trying to establish a long-term relationship so that way I can be part of the community,
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
can all work together
Absolutely.
to find solutions.
And it means something to see somebody that look like me. They can talk the talk and walk the walk.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Very good.
In them Durham streets.
Yeah, it is. All right, y'all. We got more coming up. We'll take a break here.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
NOLA Public Schools' main round enrollment for kindergarten through 12th grade is now open. With 73 schools available through the NOLA Public Schools Common Application Process, or NCAP, finding the right school fit for your family is easier than ever. List up to 12 choices to maximize your chances and apply by January 24th. We're all in, and we hope you are too. Apply today at enrollnolaps.com. That's enrollnolaps.com.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartan Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
It's Black History Month, and WBOK remembers Aretha Castle Haley, born July 22nd, 1939, was an American civil rights activist in New Orleans, where she challenged the segregation of facilities and promoted voter registration. She came from a working class background, yet was able to enroll in the Southern University of New Orleans, SUNO, then a center of student activism. She joined the protest marches and went on to become a prominent activist in the civil rights movement and other causes.
I was working at Hotel Dieu with the Good Nuns. I knew that when I sat in, I was going to be fired. I knew that. When I reported to work that Tuesday morning, the supervisor said, go into the dining room. And when I went into the dining room, there was the Good Nun sitting there, and she had my paycheck. She did this. She said, take it, get out of here, and don't ever come back.
Aretha Castle's home served as the New Orleans headquarters for the freedom fighters. With help from Aretha's mother Virgie and sister Doris, their home housed and fed hundreds of freedom riders coming and going through the summer. During Black History Month, WBOK remembers Aretha Castle Haley.
Black History. WBOK 1230 AM. Celebrating Black History Month. Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune in to the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. I want to thank the doctors for coming in and having some good old conversation with us. Man, that was good. Dr. Turner and, of course, Dr. Griggs. Dr. Griggs and I have been friends for ever and a day. And he came down here. Well, we got another. Well, this must be Dr. Day. Is this Dr. Day? This Dr. Day.
That's what it is.
Jazz, we got Dr. Day going on. Because coming in to have some conversation with us at her spot.
Yes.
Dr. Shepard is in the building.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing just wonderful. How you doing?
Busy, busy, busy.
Well, look, I should say I'm doing well. See? Pun on your medical show.
Dun-dun,
I'm
dun-dun.
doing well.
Dun-dun, dun-dun. So let me tell folks here, too, that we have a busy show this week. We got a lot of stuff going on that's going to be tomorrow, Wednesday. I think that Thursday we won't be on the air, meaning this show, because they'll be doing the live broadcast on Thursday from the NFL Experience. And they're going to start early, so they're going to keep going up until like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Ooh.
So that cancels us out. But on Wednesday, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be going from 12 noon up until 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay.
At the NFL Experience.
So what's the NFL Experience? What's that? I'm sorry. I'm a newbie.
You ain't newbie. You are not a newbie. You never been to the NFL
No,
Experience?
I don't know what that is.
Bring the boys.
Bring the boys.
Bring the boys. Now somebody gonna have to watch them, so bring daddy too. If you go, because I'm put you on the air, I'm making you work.
That's fine.
So and more than likely, what we'll have is a whole bunch of NFL players that will stop by and say hello, and get you some autographs.
So I gotta look cute. Okay. Say that then. Gee, I'll be there.
Help us, Jesus. Take the wheel. Yeah, so we'll have a bunch of those guys stopping by. And then tomorrow, for Tuesday, I kind of saw something coming. So I got a telephone call. And I got to thank Dr. Sayon Quiet Smith for helping me out with this one. But they called me last week to ask me that I want to interview some folks that are going to be here for the Super Bowl. And one of them was New Orleans' own Lucky Day.
Oh, that is fortunate.
Lucky Day last night was up for a Grammy. And he won.
Oh, go ahead. Where's the bell? I went to school with him.
So he's going to be on the show with us on tomorrow.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was good. So I was really, pleased to see that we kind of made the right decision before the decision was made. And that was before we knew that he was going to win. But I kind of figured that in his category, he's been doing such great stuff that he was going to win.
Yeah, that makes you a trailblazer.
So he won. He's going to be here or be on the phone with us. I think he's going to be on the phone with us on tomorrow about 1 o'clock.
All right.
About 1:20. 1:20. Lucky Day's going to be with us at 1:20. At 2 o'clock tomorrow, they've got this big concert at the what concert am I talking about? They got a big concert on Wednesday at the I'm bringing it up at the same time here. And they're going to be on the air with us talking about the concert. I don't know who coming yet. I think P is coming.
What? Wait, what day is that?
That is going to be on Wednesday. No, Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
I ain't got my days mixed up.
Okay.
That's going to be at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So we should know, later on today.
That's wonderful. You got a lot going on. You've been busy. You've been busy booking.
And then Wednesday, they're going to film the concert. And with them filming the concert, they're going to film it for BET and air it Saturday.
So what you're basically saying is that we need to rock with you all week long.
Rock with me, rock with me.
And that you're going to be bringing people on.
You're going to be rocking.
All right.
You gonna rock with me?
And roll with you.
There
Come
you
on.
go. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's gonna happen on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I'm looking around and saying to myself, boy, we got a lot of stuff going on. And then Wednesday we're gonna be doing broadcasting live from the convention center.
Right.
And after that, got to leave there and go to the Mahalia Jackson Convention Center.
Wow.
I mean, Mahalia Jackson Auditorium for the concert. Now, on that concert,
Mm-hmm.
let me give you the lineup. Because I think a lot of folks don't know. Why? I have yet to figure out why they don't know about this. Because I'm hearing whatchamacallit? I'm hearing all about the advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Master P.
Whoop whoop. Na 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 na. Come on. Say that.
Trombone Shorty.
Uh-huh. Oh, that sounds good already.
The Isley Brothers.
Mm.
Let me see. Yolanda Adams.
They got a little something for everybody in that concert.
Hosted by Bill Bellamy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's just some of the folks.
Okay. Wednesday, February 5th, 7:30 p.m., Mahalia Jackson Theater. Ooh. Oh, this is a star-studded cast. That's Big Frida right there. You got to post this flyer, G. You got to post that.
Have mercy.
It's a lot. You might need some Gatorade or something to keep you going this week.
I need to go home and go to bed.
Yeah, you need a pre-nap.
Hell no. Look,
You need a pre-nap.
I don't even go to sleep no more. I just fall off. It's a difference when going in and taking a nap. You do that intentionally.
Right.
Now I be sitting up there talking to you.
Unexpected sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Out. Be out. And then wake up in the middle of the night wondering why I'm up at 3:00.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Dr. Griggs was just talking about
I was just about to say that, talking about you.
You need
G.
to take a nap. Can't.
Mhm.
Got too much going on.
Yep.
Ben, let's see. What else we got? You going to the game?
Am I going to the game?
Yeah.
Only if you about to share your press pass with me.
You need a press pass? Girl, I got you.
I know you got it.
I got you. Don't believe that. Don't believe that.
Oh, okay. Well, then no, I'm not going. I'll be watching it live from my living room.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You having a party?
With my kids and my dad. Yes.
I thought you were having they say don't call it the big game, so you don't get sued.
Oh, we can't say the name of the thing of
No,
the big game?
They're not supposed to because they got so many trademarks on it. But that's why you keep hearing it. So a lot of folks are here. If you pay attention, you'll hear a lot of folks in the news don't call it Super Bowl. But they say it's Super Bowl. But you hear a lot of folks that's
Allegedly. You just said it. So
Uh-huh.
allegedly,
Yeah, I say
the
it
Super Bowl.
because I'm doing news.
Oh, okay.
But other folks that's doing like advertising and stuff like that, they don't call it that. They call it the big game.
Ah.
Because Super Bowl is a trademarked entity, and they putting it in their advertising and stuff. We're gonna have this big party at the Super Bowl, or this for the Super Bowl, or let's say that one of the sponsors is Coca-Cola, and Pepsi is saying, "Yeah, the Super Bowl."
Oh, okay.
They got a problem with it.
So it's the same thing as what we saw with Essence.
Yes. Yes. Just Essence, is an entity in itself that's here.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, I was very sad to hear that Gina Montana, who has been a part of Essence forever and a day, has been shut out. Gina has brought a lot of the culture, has a lot of the different things in New Orleans, as far as the Mardi Gras Indians and everybody that had those big parties and celebrations prior to Essence.
Right.
She's always brought that to the table.
So what do you mean
They
shut
shut
out?
her out. She's no longer a part of it. They let her go.
Oh.
And I was really, really upset to hear that they did her like that. I don't know what the issues are, but you can tell she's a little devastated. As long as she's been a part of it since the beginning.
Well, people here have been kind of pressing Essence to make sure that they are engaging in authenticity and hiring the people who are local to here to really help them to be able to plan the festival.
That's the Solomon Group.
The Solomon Group.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there could be mobilization on another front. Because, I mean, that's how we wound up getting the Hot Boys to perform last year, is through pressure, and getting Juvenile included the year before that is through pressure on Essence. So
I don't know. We'll have that discussion as we get closer.
yeah,
Also this week, what's the 7th? That is Thursday?
Thursday.
Okay. On Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to the Eros Studios.
Mm-hmm.
It is their big unveiling the vision in their honors award, SFTV honors, as they're getting ready to put their big studio facility out at Bayou Phoenix. So
This is a lot going on Wednesday.
they're gonna be
because
in-
I'm writing it down.
this is on. Is this on Wednesday? No, the 5th is Wednesday, right?
Oh yeah, the 5th is Wednesday.
So
you
this is
said
on the
that's the
7th.
That's Friday.
Right. This is on
Yes,
Friday.
okay.
But on tomorrow, Mr. Ross himself will be here.
Ooh.
Sitting in the studio.
Ooh.
Having some conversation. He'll be here at 2:00. So we got Lucky Day about 1:20 on phone with us
Mm-hmm.
to go up to about 2:00. And then at 2:00, Mr. Ross himself will be in studio to tell us about this movie studio that he's going to be putting together
Okay.
out at Bayou Phoenix.
This is very exciting. What you're saying is just we should just keep the radio dial in all week long.
Locked in.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, we're going to be broadcasting
From the convention center.
from the convention center,
Right.
leaving there,
Right.
and going
to
to
the concert.
Mahalia Jackson
Right. At 7:30.
for 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably about 10 or 11 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to bed.
Okay.
I'm
We'll
tired.
understand that.
And then Thursday,
Uh-huh.
we're going out to Eros Studios. Is that no? That's Friday.
That's Friday.
What did I say for Thursday? I said something for Thursday.
Right now, it seems like Thursday you rested.
So Thursday they're gonna take over Thursday, right? So there's a takeover. Grayland taking over on Thursday. They're doing the live broadcast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we won't be on the air on Thursday. This show
Right.
won't be on the air Thursday.
Okay. So that's when you sleep.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, also on, and I told Althea this too, Althea Cooper, who has been a part of this show forever and a day. I don't know how long that is, Althea. I know she's listening. Althea's up in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But her daddy is celebrating his birthday
Oh, happy birthday.
this week. And
to
I think
him.
I told him Thursday. I'm hoping that I can do this probably on tomorrow or Wednesday. But I want him to come up here because he won't take pictures with us.
Oh, that's nice.
He's gonna be 100 years old. Is that right, Jazz? Am I 100 years old? And he and his wife have been listening to this show since we were over on the other side of town in Gentilly, forever and a day. And then when I came down to the Lower Ninth Ward to help them with cutting grass and doing different things, he and his wife were waiting for us, waiting for us. And we went and did a live broadcast out in the Lower Ninth Ward at one of the churches. They were there. They were there. And Althea has always been a listener to the show, and so has he and his wife. And he's turning 100. I think that's a milestone in itself. So give him his flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Give him his flowers.
Okay, happy birthday to him.
Yeah. So we will do that. If we're not here on Thursday, we'll do it Friday. One of the two.
Okay.
Either or. So I'll let her know as soon as I get off the air.
Well, on Wednesday, you're going to have to holler at my son because his birthday is on Wednesday. Yeah.
So that's why you should bring them.
That's what I was thinking today.
That's gonna be a good little what you call it? Because there's nothing like that. Because how old is he gonna be?
12.
Yeah, 12 and under.
Oh, okay.
Free.
Oh, beautiful.
Don't tell him that though.
Okay, I won't. I'm
You
gonna
need
say
to
I
tell him.
spent
You know how much money I
right.
spent to get you in here.
Right.
I'm gonna back you up.
Gerard had to pay a lot of bribes to get you in this.
I'm like, give my money back, bro. He got any change? He got some change?
He got a little something.
I need to get that money out of there. We're gonna get that money there. I got to pay for Jazz's cake.
You still haven't gave Jazz
I done put
his
the order
cake.
in. I done put the order in, but the lady busy. She was just real busy, and things changed over there. So I've been waiting for her to say, "Here it is." I'm just waiting for her to do that one day. Just say, "Here it is."
Here it is. Well, I hope she gives it on a Monday. I'm looking out for my own self-interest.
That's just as selfish.
I hope that she delivers it on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it, Doc. You good.
Okay.
You good.
Mm-hmm.
You not.
I know. How she get good?
The confusion on your face.
How did she get good?
Cause she brought me South African toffee.
Mm-hmm.
South African what?
Toffee. I greased his palms when I came back from South Africa.
I had to come back for that, but I'm gonna leave it alone because it was just too easy.
Thank you.
It was too easy. it was. So last week.
Yes. A lot has happened since last week, by the way, with this Trump administration. So.
What you think about the tariffs?
About the tariffs? Oh, I think that's terrible. That's terrible. It's going to raise prices. He told his base that he was going to lower prices. Then he doesn't. Now he's going to increase prices. It also cuts us off from the world in ways where we had diplomacy and friendship, and the world is globalizing, and we're about to nationalize.
So the World Health Organization and NATO are getting ready to file suit against Trump.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And they're doing it because of the fact that that's not the treaty that we signed.
Right.
And from what I understand, the last time that treaty was signed was the first Trump era.
Mm.
And his signatures on it saying, hey, look, we're good partners. We're working together, yada, 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 yada. And then you come back and say, oh, now what will that hold being that this is his second administration? Mm-hmm. And then you had someone in between. I don't think it's going to mean anything.
It would be about the terms of the contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be about the terms of the contract.
So I'm telling everybody, y'all better go shopping.
Oh yeah, get your stuff.
You better get your stuff because
now,
in the next 30 days, even if the tariffs go in effect and it changes everything and then they drop it, it's still gonna have months of I think pushback.
Repercussions.
Yep.
I agree. I mean, this is the reason why I've always said to be emergency prepared. And when I first initially talked about being emergency prepared, I talked about, I think it's the Amish. They keep a year's worth of food supply on hand at all times. They do everything it is that they have to do so that if at any given point, if the food system goes down, they have a year's worth of food. We need to be able to have anything that it is that we can, but with the idea of how long can you hold yourself over in case the supply chain breaks. I had heard that they had a guy talking about if I wonder if he said if they boycott or if the protests go far. I can't remember what the basis was, but he said within 2 days nothing would be on the shelves. Like, because we need the trucks to restock the shelves every so often. You need those people. Mm-hmm. So if at any point in time, if the supply chain gets broken, then you cannot have food on the shelves within 2 days. Now, that's not directly related to the tariffs, but it is saying make sure you have your stuff in order for you and your household. Mm-hmm. And I think that we could go even further with how it is that you should be in order during this Trump administration, because we're only how many days in?
That's not even a month yet.
It's not even a full month. So do what it is that you need to do in order to make sure that your paperwork is in order, right? Your passports. They making people get the real ID.
Yeah, and you
right?
have to do it by what, May 6th?
Very soon.
I think you have to do it by May 6th, or you will not be able to get in any federal building or be able to fly.
Right. And you see what's going on with flying anyway right now. But anyway, That is another part of the conversation. But just to say, make sure you have all of your ducks in a row.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That along with the number of people that are saying that the DEI situation is now getting ready to take away Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait a minute. What?
Mm-hmm.
You take away Black History Month? How you gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we just ain't gonna honor it.
Right.
How did we get here? Everything seems to have something positive to do with Black history leadership. They're trying to take it away.
Right. It's one of those things where, first of all, they can't take Black History Month away. They can only stop us from federally recognizing it in the way that they did. But we still here. We can still celebrate it. We can still remind each other. We can still do the education and everything else, right? So they can't really take it away. But yeah, you know how we get here. G, we get here through the takeover of the government, and I think I've already said the Democrats not being able to really seize the moment and stop this man from coming into power. So that's how we get here. Now we got to ride out the roller coaster, and it's going to be a really difficult next 4+ years, right? Because I would say 4 years, but remember he said this the last time you're going to have to vote.
And then, they're going to try to push J.D. Vance.
Right. They're going to push Vance.
Right.
And then if he gets 8, okay. So I hope everybody's paying attention and they remember the next time that it comes around time to vote.
And in the city today, we've got someone here because they're coming to check out the security. And she just got named as the head of the, what is it, the National Security, NSA.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, she is not qualified for that job. How did they get her?
You mean in the meritocracy?
Yeah.
There's mediocrity?
Yeah. Oh, ta-dun. Exactly. But I don't think that we are strong as far as the Democrats are concerned.
No, not at all.
I don't think that we're strong at all.
Not at all. Like I said before, they can't help or protect you right now. They said that they're trying to do as much as they can to combat some crazy bills that are coming through, but they don't really even have the numbers to prevent much. They have to hope that all of the Republicans don't vote as a block. And that's only going to work on certain issues.
Mm-hmm.
So the Republicans are able to put through what they want, and we can't fight them on other fronts. We lost the ability to hold the presidency. We lost the ability to hold the Supreme Court. And so all they have is the Congress, and not really. They don't really have it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. I do want to bring this up locally, though, and this is probably going to make the phones just jump off the hook because I know that a lot of folks are trying to figure out what's going on. The mayor says, I'm not in with this $20 million deal to go to OPSB, Orleans Parish School Board. And the city council is like, what do you mean you're not in? You reneging? So 2 months after New Orleans city leaders promised to give schools $20 million to settle a long-running legal fight, Mayor LaToya Cantrell's administration has backed out of the deal, a move that could further destabilize the school system already reeling from a financial crisis. City council members and school board leaders said Saturday that the Cantrell administration pulled its support for the agreement this week, blaming a lack of available cash, ballooning costs of other settlements, and city woes and confusion spurred by President Donald Trump's sweeping pledge to cut federal funding for local initiatives. Top officials in Cantrell's administration signed on in November to the deal, which included a commitment to fund several education programs for the next decade in order to settle a legal dispute between the city and school district over tax collection. A Cantrell deputy also gave the deal the administration's blessing at a press conference. But now, the city attorney says that Cantrell did not personally agree to the settlement and wants to negotiate a new deal that is financially feasible for the city. Is she wrong?
That we broke?
And she said, I can't do it. I'm glad she said I can't do it if we can't do it. What changed? Your new president. What changed? I'm hearing grant money didn't come through. What changed? Right. I'm hearing that things are costing more money. Right. What changed? Ain't nobody saying what changed. If she's saying, hold up, wait a minute, what changed? Isn't that a big piece of this problem?
Yeah.
Why nobody saying, they saying, she just backed out on us. But why did she say we have to change?
Right.
Something happened.
Right.
That's the part that's missing, right? But we pointing the finger and saying you're a bad woman because you backed out on this deal. Why did she back out on the deal? Y'all got the bullet pulpit. Y'all the ones talking. Why don't you tell me why she said I can't do it?
Because we don't have the funds to be able to cover it because of some change.
Changed.
Right.
All right, we got to take the break. I know we got to take the break. All right, we'll take the break. We'll come back, have some more conversation. Dr. Shepard is in the building.
Hello, hello.
More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Movie Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to
all day long.
Hey, this is Dave Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m. bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Hello, I'm Sharon Levine, founder and director of Rise St. James. I want to invite you to our 6th annual Black History Ceremony on Saturday, February 22nd at Rosie's Catering in St. James, Louisiana.
Saturday, February 22nd, a day of unity and legacy with the theme of Mzizi Yakina, celebrating deep roots and enduring brilliance. Keynote speaker Heather McTeer-Tony, singing, education, and delicious soul food. Visit risestjames.org for details.
We hope you can join us at Rosie's Catering in St. James, Louisiana.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Mask Up New Orleans. Wear your mask. A reminder from WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 1230 AM.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the reality check. Weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump is delaying tariffs on Mexico for a month after speaking with President Claudia Sheinbaum. Sheinbaum says Mexico will deploy 10,000 troops to the U.S. border to combat drug trafficking. The announcement helps stocks recover after an early drop. Meanwhile, tariffs on Canada and China will take effect at midnight. The federal government is ending cultural diversity celebrations. The Defense and Transportation Departments will no longer recognize cultural awareness months like Black History Month or Pride Month. Sean Diddy Combs was secretly taken to a hospital from a NYC jail for a knee scan before returning. The 55-year-old music mogul awaiting trial at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center reportedly complained of knee pain. And Virginia Attorney General Jason Myers and 18 other state attorneys general urged Costco to end its DEI policies, calling them discriminatory. The letter demands an explanation if policies are not repealed within 30 days. I'm Amber Payton of the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
February is Black History Month, a time to honor the leaders and change makers who paved the way. At New Schools for New Orleans, we're celebrating the next generation of trailblazers, our students. Louisiana recently made historic gains on the nation's report card, climbing from the 49th to 32nd in just 5 years, our highest ranking ever. With progress in both ELA and math, we're proving what's possible. Tune in for Talk That on 12:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. as we uplift Black excellence, past, present, and future.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Can't ask some questions.
Okay.
You can't ask some questions. Gerard Stevens with you Monday. Dr. Shepard in the building.
Yes, I am.
Our number 504-582-9422. Jerry, on line 2, what's happening?
Yeah. How you doing, Gerard?
Good, and yourself?
It's something on my mind and breaking my heart, bro. The 2 days before Trump's election, and before Martin Luther King Day, before they incorporated him in, let him take over. They said they were going to close a couple of schools down, and one of them was Martin Luther King School. I saw that being a little strange that they would announce that right a couple of days before his holiday. And in my mind, I don't think we as black people should let them close that particular school down, bro. I'm willing to donate.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put in
In
time. I'm willing to do whatever needs to be done, bro, to keep that school open and get new teachers. If the teacher were underperforming, the school that means they had in competition. We get the proper teachers in there. I'll teach myself. I'm probably better than any teacher you know, really. I'll be willing to go put money there and time and everything else, and try to help create a national or state telethon or something to raise money to keep that particular school open, man. Because I swear, that man gave everything, man. I'm 81 years old, and young people now, they don't know what it's like to go to the back of the bus, even if the front part is not full. In the back here, you got to go stand in the aisle. They know when it's like not drink out the same water fountain, not be able to use the bathroom when you want. I know about that, and I know I was there with Martin Luther King, and I've witnessed these changes that took place in America, man. I've witnessed that. I've witnessed black people become respectable and get their due. And Martin Luther King and his activity was the direct reason that happened, bro. And I just cannot ever let his spirit die in any kind of way in my heart, mind, nor soul, bro. And I don't think we should let them close that particular school if we have to keep it open ourselves.
Yes, I agree.
And I hope that everybody that's listening to me feel the same way, bro. Because something we could take, something we just can't take, bro.
I hear you, and if you notice, I was kind of quiet on it because I haven't heard any pushback at all. I heard when
there was when they were about to shut it down.
When they were about to shut it
that
down,
amazing?
but since then, have you heard
Isn't that
anything?
amazing?
No.
We got to do something about it, bro. We can't let them do it, man. We got to do it. If we got to raise the money ourselves, we got to do it and put the teachers in our own self. We got to keep that school open. We got to let them know that school is a priority with us.
I hear that and I feel it. And also, I mean, that the building, the school that it was in, all of that, it seems like a waste of resources to allow it to go down. I know that their test scores were really low, but like I said, I think, like the caller said, it just means that there should be more investments. But of course, it has to do with the charter.
They're not gonna let that building go.
They're gonna put something else.
Put something else in there.
Mm-hmm. Especially
We
for
not
the
gonna
lower
let 'em
ninth
have that
ward,
building.
because it's a neglected area of the city, and they haven't done enough to be able to make it a real lifeline back there to make those people feel connected and part of the community. Is still considered to be a marginal part of the city, and I think that that also is part of the issue. It's the reason why we shouldn't let it close. They need more resources inside that area of the city.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm willing to do my part. I'm not just willing to just talk. I'm willing to do my part. And I hope and pray that everybody who is listening to you today think the same way I do, and we all get together and just make it happen. And we got to demand that school stay open. We need to demand that Congress stop taking money from public schools also, because your crime rate go up when people aren't educated. They can't really distinguish right from wrong, what's good and bad, most of them, but their brain ain't developed enough. And one more thing I want to say before I go. If I live, I'm not going to let them take our 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old boys and girls and lock them up forever as adults, because I'm going to tell you, the brain itself does not develop until you reach 26 years old. 25 or 26 is when it fully develops. And those kids really are innocent in the essence of having brain development to realize right from wrong totally, when there's stuff going in their eyes and ears every day is negative.
Yeah.
And
You know that already started, though, huh, Jerry?
And everything.
You do know that already started.
What?
Locking the
Them
kids
closing
up.
that school?
Locking the kids up.
Oh, yeah, it's already started.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're also sending in South Carolina, they sending details out to Walmart to work, too. Indentured slavery. Oh, yeah, and they've done that. But what we going to do about it? What we going to do about it? We're going to fight back. We're going to let it. We're going to tell our lawyers to stand up in that courtroom and let them know about that, the brain and the human development and the activity that takes place with young people, and why it takes place with young people.
Yeah.
Why?
All right.
Our lawyers got to get on their game, man. They got to get on their game. I could argue that case.
I got you.
I could argue that case.
All right, Jerry.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right.
He makes a lot of sense.
Of course. Of course. And especially because it's all about putting investments back toward what it is that actually touches the people. It's just that right now the whole trend is taking resources away from people. And even with what he was saying, I was thinking, well, Jeff Landry just put something forward that's going to allow people to take the money that the public school will receive and go take it and bring it to a private school. So they're gutting the infrastructure, right? The school vouchers, they're gutting the infrastructures of the schools right now. I did see a lot of pushback behind them closing King during the time, but I haven't heard about it since. And, I said this last week that they are betting on the fact that they are keeping us very busy reacting to all of the changes, so that even those people who are serious about activism will have almost like split energies, because it's difficult to put your attention on all of the different changes that we have to be pushing back against, especially when it's not a lot of very vocal and active people.
Well, I always say this. When I think about something happening and it happens, I'd like for it to happen during the time when there's something else to be acting as a diversion, to divert your attention.
Right.
What has happened since that time?
Mm-hmm.
We have had several tragedies. We had big snow.
Right.
We got the Super Bowl everybody wants to get prepared for. Well, we got Sugar Bowl. We got Mardi Gras on the way. We about that entertainment. We about that entertainment. But what about school? What about the school? What about the school that had the people down in the lower ninth ward after Katrina going into school themselves to clean it out, to get them prepared to be opening that school when it needed to be open again? Because those folks got out there and did the work themselves.
Yeah.
But what about it? Did that mean anything? We got the 20th year anniversary of Katrina happening this year in August. So what?
Right.
Well, who's going to remember it? Most of us want to forget it anyway. But all of us need to remember where we come from. This is something all of us, when we use the word resilience, have got to be knowing what the word resilience means. Understand what the definition is. But to let things that mean something to your community just slip to the wayside because somebody said this is what you need to do, it to me it's demeaning and I think a insult. But if you're not insulted, and I don't see nobody else but Jerry standing up and saying something, where's the movement? I get folks all the time to say this. I know I'm going to get in trouble. Gerard, you ought to. I've been there. I've done that already. And it makes me upset when somebody tell you and buck you up to say, hey, you need to get out there and you need to lead the way. You need to. And you do.
And they don't be behind you.
No. Man, that was cool, G, what you did. Where were you? I couldn't come because see, what had happened was, no. We either all stand together or no. Not leading that way no more. I learned my lesson. And let me tell you something. Taking that hit by yourself comes threefold. You're going to take the hit from those people that didn't want it to come. You're going to take the hit from the folks that did want it to come because they're going to say, I didn't know about it. And then you're going to get the hit from the folks that's going to make something up on you. That's how it usually works.
I know that you know what you're talking about, G, because you come in the gap for all kinds of different issues and topics, and you do a lot of activism with your show. But it's like we still have to be able to do it. I mean, people are exhausted, but we still have to be able.
They worn out.
We still have to be able to do it, though. It still has to be done because look at what it is that we're up against. Like the conservatives and the people who are trying to snatch the resources out of our hands, out of our communities, out of our children's, mouths and brains. And they're trying to take everything from us, and they are energized, okay? They have energy and systems and unity and talking points, and they are together behind disenfranchising and disempowering us. So we do need the equal opposite overwhelming force of activism to counter it.
Okay. How'd that happen?
It usually just boils down to a few people, but what I'm saying is that we need more people.
Okay.
Yes. To unite.
Okay.
Okay. And get on the same agenda.
And how that
We
happen?
need an agenda.
All right.
Organizing.
You that person?
Am I that person? I usually tend to show up to help other people
I love
organizing.
your organizing them because you're a great organizer. I
Thank you.
I'm not being funny. I love the way that you organize because you start writing stuff down.
Yeah.
And then, that brain get to working and and you got them. And then, I know at some point in time during the week, I'm going to get a telephone call.
Yeah.
G, here's who I called.
Right. And we about to do this.
We about to do this. We about to do this. What you think? Okay.
Right. I like to get behind what people are already doing to bring collective power. I don't think that, I mean, I do a little bit of like organizing, getting stuff together that I want done. But like, I like to be able to support what people are already doing that brings about change, because I think that is it. It's collective power. It's not just one or two people doing something. So if I know somebody has an initiative, then I'll try to bring more people to be able to support that person or to give them more resources to do it.
So, how do you fight a system that leaves no room for you to fight? Has this system of the school board left you any room to fight? And I'm not saying it about you. I'm just saying, has this school system left you room to be able to fight? Because evidently, and I ain't calling no names, they have a list of folks that they always can rely on that's part of our community, black folks, that will go and speak, and you believe them before you believe the system that we're trying to fight. And then you got a report that's going to come out and say that the Louisiana kids are now making great big strides. So since they're making so many great big strides, and they have now listed themselves and gone up 20-some points as far as what they have achieved, then they're doing well. I'm not going to fight that. Why? Because they're already doing well. What am I fight a system that's doing well? But you have no control of your own system. And since you have no control of your system, other folks are making decisions when it's supposed to be the community that makes those decisions. And the majority of those folks that are making those decisions don't live near you, are not a part of your community, and don't look like you.
Right.
And you happy with that. And none of the folks that we're talking about are giving us opportunity, that opportunity to serve my community, my opportunity to be a vendor for this multi-million-dollar system, not giving me a chance to teach these kids. And the majority of those kids need to know who they are. And we're looking at DEI and all the rest of it in a black school system. The majority of these kids, I'm like, I can keep going. So I'm waiting for you to tell me to be quiet.
Oh, I was about to let you go. You know that. I was going to let you go. Okay, so you're saying, how you
fight
make
that
an
system?
inroad? Well, it's about being able to seize what you can, right? I think that's like an old Maroon tactic. Like you shock and you seize it, and you also take what it is that you can. So like any offices, positions available, you seize it, you get it. And you have to be able to, it's the idea of long suffering. You have to be able to, every time that a position comes open, you seize the position. So that it might take 4 years, it might take 6 years, but you need the ability to go through a few cycles to put the people in place that you need, who then create the policies and initiatives that feeds the rest of the system. If anything, we should be looking at the way that they're taking over the government right now, because it shows you all you have to do is wait and get your people in position. And remember when he told the Proud Boys, you stand back and you stand by? They wanted him to say, no, tell them stand down. He never said it. Why? Because he really meant stand back and stand by. Be patient. So your time will come. And so I kind of think that should be part of the strategy. And I feel like that used to be part of the strategy. But along the way, people have lost the feeling that they need to have strategy, or that they need to organize and participate, or even just thinking that somebody else will take care of it for them. And enough people have thought someone else is going to do it. And then here you come along, G, doing it. So then they say, well, G is doing it. Okay. So I just think that we need more strategy, more organizing, and people to still have the same spirit. What was it that allowed us to be able to put mayors in place in the 80s? We got all those black mayors and black cities and using our collective power. We got to go back to what works.
All right, let me take some of these calls because folks.
You sound like you don't believe.
I'm gonna let somebody else. I don't want to say I don't believe. I really don't want to say I don't believe. Because I really do believe. I just think that some folks done got lazy.
Right, they think somebody else should do it for them.
There you go. Donald.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening, man? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go. What you got?
Hey.
Listening to you, my brother. Gerard.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man.
Oh, this is my Donald.
Until these people feel some pain and some fear, y'all whistling in Dixie, man. I was so glad that Trump issued that executive order freezing all federal funding. I said, thank you, Jesus. So they can. I'll say it again. I said, thank you, Jesus.
I know you didn't thank Jesus.
Oh, you don't know me.
Yeah, I know him. You heard that voice. You didn't hear me say nothing. I'm shaking my head. I'm like, oh, Lord.
Doc, I hate to, Doc, I listen to you every day. You don't think I do, but I do.
Well, I appreciate it. But you thanking Jesus for the
Of course.
for the
course.
freeze?
You don't know the conversations I had with people about the federal election and the state election. I had knocked down, drag out arguments with people about Kamala Harris. I'm talking about educated, informed people. I'm talking about business people. I'm talking about pastors who took a strong position that she should not be president of the United States. And that resonated throughout the country. When you go and look at those numbers, Trump improved in every area. He improved amongst black voters, Hispanic voters. It's just phenomenal. And when you sit down and you listen to people, educated people who are supposed to be in the know, people who influence people, telling them that a woman should not be the president of the United States. And it really just rocked my heart to hear him say that. So I'm saying today, just like 1870 and 1880, when they felt the pain, then they got active again. And until people feel pain, and it's tragic to say that, until they feel the impact of the stupidity, the arrogance, and ignorance, then you're not going to motivate them to do anything.
So what would you classify as that pain?
When you cannot get access to the things that you're talking about, when you can't get access to proper education, when you can't get economic opportunities, when you can't get job opportunities. And until you feel the pain, what's going to motivate you?
Mm-hmm.
Education hasn't motivated you. People died in the 60s and 70s haven't motivated you. So what motivates you? Unfortunately, as Machiavelli said, fear and pain.
Okay, well, I have a question.
Sure.
I feel as though I'm going behind what it is that you're implying, right? So you're implying if it gets bad enough, people will wake up and do things about it.
That's correct.
Are we prepared for if that doesn't happen? If they don't wind up,
that's where we are now.
Waking up,
But that's where we are now.
I think that the hope though is it gets bad enough and then people respond. But what if people don't even respond to how it gets bad?
The governor now has the ability to appoint every board. He don't have to get any recommendations that change the rules and the regulations. He can appoint every board. The president is not checked by anybody. Baby, this is happening. This is 1870 to 1890 all over again. Now, we can close our eyes and pretend that it's not happening. When you have them send out a memo telling all 2.5 million federal employees, you guys have 7 days to retire, or we're going to systematically eliminate you. What are they telling you?
The old way of doing business has now ended.
That's correct. When they tell you that when they unilaterally dismiss 16 inspector generals, what are they telling you? That we're going to systematize this thing that's going to take you another 100 years, just like it took you between 1890 and 1990 to get the change that's going to happen all over again. And unfortunately, we bought into the hocus pocus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I sat down with a pastor with at least 500 members in his church. He and I talked for an hour and a half. He told me under no circumstances, Donald, would I vote for Kamala Harris, or would I encourage my congregation to vote for Kamala Harris? Because no woman shouldn't be leading this country.
That's wild.
And I'm telling you, and I sat down with business people, said the same thing. I was like dumbfounded. So if we got that mindset, what's going to be the result? What you see now. So I say, hey, let them Republicans cut the budget, let them freeze the budget, let them appoint all these crazy judges they're going to appoint. And when you realize that you have no recourse, then you organize. Then you decide to participate. And you don't send Gerard out there charging, my man out there charging in the street. He looks back and nobody behind him.
Stand behind you.
That's what I'm saying.
And people saying they got your back, and they got you. You turn around and look, and they way back.
And he's been doing that since I met him.
Yep.
You know, but anyway, G, I just wanted to call you and tell you, man, don't. There's hope, but the hope comes in pain and fear. Let those people these next 2 years do what they need to do. I guarantee you didn't have to ask anybody to go out and vote in the midterms. They're gonna be begging you
to go vote.
Say Gerard.
And they're gonna say G got it.
We're gonna call Donald to run. That's what he is.
Hey man, no man. Let them. Unfortunately, man, you gotta feel the pain.
Yes, indeed. We got you. Thank you, sir.
Talking to you, my brother.
Good to hear from you.
Okay.
All right, more coming up, y'all. We got to take a break. We'll take a break here and we'll come back.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Your Power is On gospel music show is coming on at a new time. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe, 60 minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health. WBOK celebrates Black History Month, remembering Dorothy Mae Taylor, born August 10th, 1928, an educator, a politician in New Orleans, and the first African-American woman to be elected and to serve in the Louisiana House of Representatives.
What's before us today is discrimination. My questions are based on discrimination. That's before us today.
In 1992, Dorothy Mae Taylor authored an ordinance insisting that all Mardi Gras crews stop discriminating and institute an open admission policy for anyone seeking to join their organizations if they chose to use any city services to hold their parades. The reaction to this ordinance was swift and downright vicious.
Have you recommended any other members since you've been there 40 years?
I'm sure I have, yes.
Have any of them been blacks, Jews, or Italians?
I don't know if any have been Italians or not. I don't know that question.
Okay. What about blacks? What about blacks?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Even when it wasn't popular, Dorothy Mae Taylor stood strong to desegregate Mardi Gras.
Black History. WBOK 1230 AM, celebrating Black History Month. Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. You're listening to Dr. Shepard today on the Reality Check on WBOK. We were having a conversation about the despair after Trump getting in office, okay? And what is it that we could do locally? Can we organize? Is this just our hopes? Do people need for it to get worse before it gets better? Let's go ahead and head to the caller line. We have Miss Denise. Miss Denise, what do you have to say on the radio?
Hello, Dr. Shepard. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Great. I'm giving some information on Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryan. He's the pastor of Newburgh Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am.
Tonight he's going to be at Rock of Ages Baptist Church at 2515 Franklin Avenue. But their church in Atlanta, they're organizing a boycott for Target. And the boycott is going to be a 40-day fast. And you can go to targetfast.org and register. And the fast will begin March the 5th for 40 days. And between now and the fast, they're hoping that Black businesses will organize their products on their websites.
Right.
So that we can still purchase and not go into Target.
Yes, ma'am.
So again, it's targetfast.org and register. It begins March the 5th, and it's with Newburgh Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryan. And if you want to see him tonight, he'll be at Rock of Ages at 2515 Franklin Avenue at 7 p.m.
Yes, Miss Denise, thank you so much. You just helped to fill in some of the vacuum of information that we need to organize. So, I mean, a collective boycott of Target is right on point. So thank you so much for calling in with that information.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and head to line 3 with Mr. Galman. Mr. Galman, what do you have to say?
Let me say this to you. One of the number one problems facing African Americans, primarily in New Orleans, we are suffering from an identity crisis. I was in D.C., and I went over to the Census Bureau, and I wanted to find out how we got all these names identifying ourselves. And I was able to find out the word slaves came from white slave owners. When Toussaint Louverture defeated Napoleon's folks down in Haiti, many of them fled to Louisiana, and they call them colored persons. In 1850, white people began to call us black. The reason they wanted to call us black because they take away your history, your culture, and your heritage. There's no black land in Africa. That's African land. If an Italian leaves Italy and come to America, he's Italian when he gets here. If a German leaves Germany and come to America, he's a German when he leaves here. A Frenchman leaves France and comes, he's a Frenchman when he gets here. The only name that African Americans have participated in identifying ourselves was in the year 2000 when we began to call ourselves African Americans. Today, many of our high school kids and college students, they don't know their history, their culture, and their heritage. Once you know your history and your culture and your heritage, you can do critical thinking, the ability to use careful judgment and judicious evaluation. Logic can put together a sequence of facts. Reasoning is the ability to draw something to a conclusion. And I'm going to give you another example. The 13 Amendment freed slaves. The 14 gave them citizenship. And the 15 gave us the right to vote. But what do we celebrate mostly? Juneteenth. Juneteenth was nothing but a picnic after several thousand slaves did not know that slavery was over. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, January the 1st, 1963. We don't celebrate that. We celebrate Juneteenth, which is nothing but a big picnic. Okay? We are a bunch of confused people. We are a bunch of miseducated people. Until we begin to sit down and take a close look at our history, our culture, and heritage. The average high school students in Orleans Parish cannot give you a definition of history. History is our chronological records of significant events or information. Culture is the customary belief of an ethnic group. Your religion, your dance, the way you dress, your singing, and the way you prepare your food. Heritage is something you obtain from your ancestors. You heard the old word. I've been to Africa about 9 times. And here some of the people said, it takes a village to raise a child. That's directly from Africa. And we need to address that. Our birth. We don't understand how these genes are passed down from one person to another. But we are a bunch of confused people. We are still calling our history Black history. I've been to Africa 9 times. I didn't see no black land in Africa. I didn't see no Negro land in Africa. I didn't see no colored land in Africa. I saw African land. Until we begin to identify with Africa, they're going to treat us as a slave. Africa is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Atlanta is opening a stock exchange to do business with the continent of Africa. They got airplanes flying out of Atlanta every day, going to West Africa and going to Southern Africa. We got the port. From 1812 to 1865, New Orleans itself, New Orleans was the slave capital of the Confederacy. They had slave pens across the river. Once they brought our ancestors from Africa, they took them over and put them in slave pens, cleaned them up and brought them into the French quarters and put them on the auction block. We don't know our history. When they come around the so-called should be African American History Month, we spend our time talking about celebrities. Still are trying to put together an economic agenda regarding doing trade with Africa. Under Barack Obama, he committed $35 billion to establish trade with African Americans in Africa. When Joe Biden came in, he committed $54 billion to start trade with Africa and African Americans. The only southern city that I know have capitalized off that and been able to get some of that money to establish trade with Africa is the city of Atlanta, Georgia. While we buck jumping, that's all we think about. I saw some statistics from one of the largest consumer reporting agencies in America. From December the 26th to after Mardi Gras, we spend $12 million. Let me repeat that for the slow learners. We spend $12 million in Mardi Gras. But how much money do we spend on economic development? For every $1,000 made in the tourism business, black people make $35. But we said we have a tourism economy. You mean white folks have a tourism economy? The black mayor, as they call us, themselves black, the mayor and the city council, how many businesses have they brought to this city over the past 4 years? How many businesses have they brought here? I've been to, when I was going out of Africa, working for Mark Morrell, when I went to South Africa, the largest trade expo took place. They had 5 councilmen there from Atlanta, Georgia. I went to the 5th African American Summit in Ghana. They had a number of elected officials from Atlanta that are trying to establish international trade. I went to a conference in Yaoundé, Cameroon. You had representatives there from Atlanta, Georgia, trying to establish international trade to create jobs, to import raw goods and take those goods and turn them into synthetic goods. But there's no elected officials from New Orleans.
Mr. Gallman, thank you so much.
They don't talk about economics as it relates to Africa. I don't think they know about doing trade with Africa.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gallman. I was gonna say that what it is that I hear is that we still have not yet realized how to capitalize on what we do have as our identity of African descended peoples. And so we could be doing much more to open up trade and economics for ourselves to help us to become more self-sufficient. That's what I'm gathering from what you're saying.
What you're saying is right, but what I'm saying to you, we're going to have to stop voting for people because they got a transcript. We got to vote for people who has a commitment to liberation. And economics is a major part of our liberation in this city. But we have not made any attempt to do international trade. And we live in a global economy. Mm-hmm. We got a major port out here. But who capitalized on doing trade with Africa? White businessmen.
Right.
Because you know why? Not a bank in this state will do a currency exchange with the 54 countries on the continent of Africa. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's done is because they know if there be a currency exchange, many African Americans will begin to do trade with Africa.
Right.
You take the uranium that comes in, over $500 million coming here annually, supply water for 3, Riverbend Station and St. Francisville, and the nuclear plant in Port Gibson. That uranium come out of South Africa. And how many dollars made by blacks on that uranium? Over $500 million a year.
So that's also downtown, with any product that's happening here, though,
diamonds from Africa.
Mr. Galman. So, yeah, I would say that's with anything as far as entertainment and everything else that happens here. But look, we got to get these other folks on here because
all right. Thank you, Mr. G.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right.
Mr. Bob.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I like to be honest with you. I like to see the grassroots right here in New Orleans for as boycotting 2 places. The two gambling establishments here in the city. 'Cause all our people there right now. It's the first of the month, and all of them are dumping their money right there, and they're not doing nothing in the community.
And where?
The casinos.
Oh, the casinos.
Casinos.
Okay.
And we full of them right now. They're full of us right now. You know, and it's full people. That'd be an eye-opening boycott.
Mm-hmm. I think some of it's a little bit deeper than just boycotting, though. I think some of it's addiction.
I was gonna say that's addiction.
Yeah,
oh.
Addiction too, but it ought to be brought up. It ought to be brought to them. Let them see it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, that's hurting a lot. They're hurting themselves also.
Yeah. I'm reading this on CNN too. I don't know if you saw this or not, but when you started talking about boycotts, one was Target. Did you see that?
Okay, so we just had a caller call in. She said that at TargetFast.org.
I'm sorry, I had stepped out.
Right. At TargetFast.org, they're going to do a boycott for the next 40 days of Target, starting March 5th.
Okay.
And what they're trying to do, because, you know, the part of the pushback is that they're saying that, well, then you're going to penalize black businesses that are stocked in Target. But what she said is that they also want to get the black businesses to have links for their website so that people could just go directly on their website, still support their favorite black business, and also boycott Target.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cool, Mr. Bob. Thank you, sir.
All right, man.
All right. P-Town. P-Town.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, happy Monday, you guys. Hey, Dr. Shepard. Good to hear your voice.
Hey, P-Town. It's good to hear from you, too. What you got to say about Trump?
I feel like this here. I didn't vote for Kamala, and I'm not a supporter of Trump, but I feel like some of the things that he's doing need to be done. We talk about America being broken. We talk about this all the time. Prior to Trump. Prior to Trump, we talked about how the federal government has been broken for a long time. So to me, this is just a shakeup, and yeah, we're going to feel some pain from this shakeup. But I think that it's a necessary evil because America needs a rude awakening, and maybe Trump is that awakening. You understand that we all need. So
but I just think that you're a hypocrite, though, P-Town, when you tell somebody that you're going to have to go through some pain, and you have been through everything, and you probably are going through some type of discomfort, and you don't. It's not going to affect you. You understand what I'm saying? You're a hypocrite when you have all the money in the world. You have people at your beckoning call 24/7. But I'm telling the little guy that lived down the street that's trying to make it and feed his family, oh yeah, just hold on. You're gonna go through a little pain, but you're gonna be all right. I think that's hypocritical.
Well,
Especially
Gerard,
to say a little pain.
Yeah, you're gonna
when
go
it's
through a little
like
pain.
People's actual.
So you're gonna put me through pain while you all right.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what's going on, Gerard, and we're not going to be able to stop it, but we have to have a solution to this problem. And my solution to this problem is, you already know, bro, I told you when I came back from Kenya, I'm out of here, man, in the next 4 years. I'm leaving this country. I'm going to Kenya, and I'm gone.
You might want to check into that, too, because, with them stopping all of the immigrants from coming into this country, at some point in time, what's going to happen is the reverse. The other country's going to stop us from coming in their countries.
Right.
Well, Gerard, they can do that. I'm married to a Kenyan woman. That's
don't matter.
Thing.
I can fix some legislation that, you know what, she welcome.
Second of all,
but you ain't.
Gerard.
They're gonna be like, what happened to him? He over there in one of them camps.
Well, I'm gonna take my chance. I'm a risk taker by nature, Gerard. So I'm gonna take my chance, Gerard. But you don't understand. I got an exit plan from this country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in love with America. You understand? I got an opportunity for 5 whole weeks, Gerard, to see to wake up every day to see black faces, to see how we live, and to see the beauty of a country that I had never gone to before. You understand? I got an opportunity to just submerge myself into these people's communities, Gerard, and submerge myself into these people's lives. It's only 5 weeks, Gerard. You understand? I'll be going back a few times before I decide to make that transition, but I'm gonna make it, Gerard.
So you're not gonna fight against them. You're not one of them fighters.
What was going on here in America?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm done with America, Gerard. I'm done with the system that's in place. That's an oppressive system that's constantly in place to impress the people in America. I'm sick of it.
But how about if I put this pain on you to make you say exactly what you're saying, give up and leave, and that would be the whole ploy of what they're doing right now to try to get rid of you because they know you can't fight or you're not gonna fight.
Well, you know what would be really wonderful?
But you falling right into the trap.
Yeah, Gerard, listen to me.
He said yes.
It would be really wonderful.
I am.
It would be wonderful, Gerard, if this 13% of America, would pick up and leave this country.
Why would it be wonderful?
We could.
Why do you think that would be
wonderful? You know why? Because this country do not value us. They have never valued us. They do not value us. They don't understand the contributions that we contribute to this country. You understand? This country is engulfed in racism and is engulfed in a system that hate us. America hates black
people. I
people.
can see the different countries in Africa that love us to death. That's why we sitting out there with warlords that's holding AK-47s over us while we digging just to try to get some blood diamonds.
Yeah, you got that going over there in the Congos, and you got that going on in certain places of Africa. But you also got liberation going on in some of the countries in Africa too, like Gabon, like Niger, like Mali,
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso. What Abraham Traore is doing is not being publicized in America. But if we pay attention, what's going on in these countries, Gerard, is wonderful. What's going on in Ghana, with some of the blacks migrating to Ghana from America, these are some wonderful things. Everybody don't have a savvy story, Gerard. There's some good stories.
I understand that. As a matter of fact, Dr. Shepard even knows some of the folks.
Mm-hmm. We had on one of my colleagues who moved from here to South Africa. And he talks about all of the streams of African Americans going to Africa and hoping that more people would go. So I understand. I think that I would like to kind of put that in conversation with what Mr. Gallman said about Pan-Africanism, basically, just restoration between the relationships of Africans on both sides, on the continent and here, as opposed to like opposition.
All right, P-Town, we got to get everybody.
I want to say one more thing. You know what really attracted me to Africa more than anything else? The fact that when you buy something there, a house or whatever, it's yours. I don't have to pay taxes or worry about the government coming to take it from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the part that I love, and it's so cheap to live Everything was so cheap there. And I just want to say that. And everything was so quality and cheap at the same time. Have a good one, y'all.
All right, Pete Town.
Okay, Pete Town.
All right, let's take the break. Can we take the break? We'll take the break. Mr. Harold, hold on. Big Sid, hold on. We coming back. We got to pay some bills real quick. More coming up next.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets. We've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow WBOK 1230 now.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
This is the coach, Garrett Sashere. The Sports Report is coming up next on WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home?
All right, folks, welcome back. Dr. Shepard in the building.
Hello, everyone.
Gerard Stevens with you. It's Monday. Let's go out to the West Coast, check in with Mr. Harold. Mr. Harold? We missed him? We missed Mr. Harold.
Uh-oh. Please call back in, Mr.
Jazz,
Harold.
look outside. Is it raining? It ain't raining? All right, something getting ready to happen. Big Sid.
Hello, Dr. Shepard. Hello, Gerard.
What's happening?
Hey.
We have to be realistic and look at what's unrealistic. For us just to say to pick up and move, we had to keep in mind we had to bus people away from here because of lack of funds, because of Katrina. Now, what's realistic is maybe if the Democratic Party gets some kahunas, you know what I mean, and start organizing right now for the midterm elections to regain Congress, that's what's realistic. Now, how do you motivate people to vote? All people, to vote. Here in our city, you would think that our mayor and our city council would see the mood of the federal government, the mood of the state government. So again, you would think that they would be trying to empower or structure stuff away to a way to where black people can get some money, because it's going to get worse. And unfortunately, it's going to have to get worse. People are going to have to be homeless or whatever. That's because, wow, this is a reality. Our reality is it's going to get worse before it gets better. And how do you motivate our people? So to our Congressman, Troy Carter, to our district attorney, Jason Williams, to our mayor, LaToya Cantrell, to the city, to the black people on the city council, as well as to all the leaders in Shreveport, Baton Rouge, how are you all gonna reinvent or revitalize the Democratic Party so people will be more apt to go out and vote? And I'll hang up and listen.
Don't hang up. I can answer that.
Okay, how they gonna do it?
Tell me what you're gonna do. Tell me what you're going to do if you're listening to the people that will vote for you. Tell me, when somebody says, I need my street fixed, I'm going to come on the air. I'm going to come on my television commercial. Listen, in my district, here are the streets that need to be fixed. I am working with the Department of Transportation. I will tell you the dates. Here's when we're going to get them fixed. Oh, we need something. We need daycares. I'm working on finding some people that have the authority, have the schooling, have the licenses, and can open up daycares. We're going to fund it. You can't tell me that you can't fund daycares in urban areas. Yeah. Oh, what else we need? We need our kids to have different parks. Okay, cool. We don't need them to have parks. We need them to have the programs at the parks. I'm having a conversation with Larry Barabino. Larry, how much money do we need to open up this? Who do you have as far as coaches are concerned? People that can do the work. Do we need to do a campaign to find the folks to be able to do it? Do they need to be credentialed? What do they need to do? All we got to do is ask. People will tell you what they want. But the difference is, do we start with people and what they want? Because there's a whole bunch of people that want something. Or do we need to have a conversation with people and what they need? It's a difference between the two. Mm-hmm. That's how you get elected.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, there's a divide. There's a political divide. You know, we all know there's an election cycle coming up. And you got this politician running his clique. You got that politician running their clique. We need ministers. Wow. It's a multifaceted problem, but I just don't see where we are fed up enough to do what needs to be done to change our plight into our flight.
Okay. All right, Sid. Thank you, brother.
I got a question. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not stealing phrases. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm not the brightest bulb in the pack.
Like,
I'm not the sharpest pencil in the pack. But can somebody give me the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over and over again.
All right.
And expecting your results to change.
All right. And we've had 40 what presidents?
47.
All red and all blue?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're doing the same things over and over again. I think it's time for something new.
United Streets of America.
Thank you very much.
Oh, God. Here we go with that again. I ain't even going to get into that. Kevin.
Hey, I just want to say one thing, and I was kind of highly offensive, and I think your female host should be offended too. When the guys say that a woman cannot be a president, that's a sexist remark. I wonder if he has any daughters.
He wasn't. Hold up, Kevin. He wasn't saying he believes so.
Yeah,
he wasn't saying he
that.
believes so.
Yeah.
He was saying that he has spoken with other men who believe that, and he felt bad about the fact that they said that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. All right.
I like it, bro. Kevin, take it up for him, Kevin. Put your chest out.
Thank you. We need that energy. Keep that same energy.
Kevin about to come through the radio. What?
Yes, we need that. Thank you.
Kevin, you from the Ninth Ward? Kevin hung up. He hung up. He from the Ninth Ward.
He didn't want to have to answer that question.
Mr. Harold.
Yes, Happy New Year.
What's going on?
I've been listening to you. This last caller, I was wondering what that caller was talking about, not having a female president of the United States.
He was talking about a conversation that he was having with someone.
Yeah.
And he was just reiterating what they said. He wasn't saying that himself.
He was saying
he was totally for voting for Kamala Harris, but he was seeing a conversation that he was having was with another pastor about him and his congregation. And that pastor was telling him that he wouldn't vote for her.
Oh, have mercy. I thought this is all the years I've been calling you. I said, this is the dumbest conversation that I've ever heard.
No, I done had some dumb conversations before. We done had some real dumb conversations not too long ago, but we're going to leave that alone today. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, this is my month. I'm getting close to a senior citizen. And I will only be 88. So
all right.
I was going to suggest to Dr. Shepard, I think she has a son that's going to be 12 years old.
Yes.
This week?
On Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Okay, he's got to be extra bright.
Yes.
So I have a granddaughter that's 10 years old. I only have one. And what I'm going to suggest to you is on his birthday, take him to the bank, if he doesn't already have an account, and open up an account for him. You can do it with $100.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my granddaughter meet the manager. I said, when we go, you got to meet the manager.
That'd be great.
So when she lives in Georgia, and she comes here for the summer, and I call the manager. I deal with 3 banks, and all 3 of them have black women managers. So I took her to the bank to meet the manager, and she was well received, and she's had that experience. And that's the problem with a lot of us black people, is that we don't understand finance, and we need money. So anyway, I just wanted to suggest that you do that. And when you go to the bank, you don't stand in the line. They expect you, and you have a connection. So I just wanted to say that to her.
Yes.
Black History. Go ahead.
I was going to say thank you for that. He has a account that's like held for him, but it'd be nice for him to be able to have that experience and to open up a little account for himself. So that's nice. I appreciate that.
Yes. So what I also, I see the time is going. It's 2 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock yet. But brother Al Sharpton and the black attorney, I can't call his name right, but he's blacker than I am. What's his name that does all the cases? You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're
Crump,
talking about Crump.
yes. The 2 of them are supposed to be here Thursday, and I will be seeing them.
Okay.
But anyway, life is good. I just had to holler at you. You had the psychologist on or whatever.
Yeah, they were good.
And I just wanted to say that again.
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to say now, I'm allergic to doctors. I don't have one. So I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay.
But life is good. You all have a blessed day, and I appreciate every day that I listen to you.
All right, Mr. Harold. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
We'll talk to
Mr.
later.
Harold.
Okay.
Birthday boy. The birthday
Uh-huh.
boy.
He should get a doctor, though.
Yeah, you need a.
The topic of today's show. Okay.
We got to go.
Yeah.
Always good. You need to hang out with me this week. We got some stuff going on.
We're going to be rolling.
All right. We'll be here tomorrow. A conversation with Lucky Day. He's going to join us at 1:20. And then, of course, we'll be talking with our friends from E-Ross Studio. Mr. Ross is going to be here at 2 o'clock. And then on Wednesday, we're live from the Convention Center for the NFL Experience, okay?
Yes.
That's going to do it for us. The Sports Report is up next. Y'all have a great day, and y'all be careful here.
From the campus of Xavier University.
Yeah.
WBOK 1230 AM. Go. An Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know with BIN News. A federal judge is expected to block a White House funding freeze that limited access to funds for small businesses and nonprofits. The now canceled memo sparked legal challenges as part of wider pushback against the Trump administration. Maryland's black Attorney General Anthony Brown is allocating $1 million to form a legal team to challenge Trump's executive orders. Brown says state attorneys will defend residents' rights. Elon Musk's team now controls the U.S. Treasury's payment system, managing trillions in transactions, including Social Security and Medicare. The move aims to cut costs but raises concern among critics over economic risks. In February marks Black History Month, established in 1976 to honor African American contributions often overlooked in history. The celebration began earlier with Carter G. Woodson, who launched Negro History Week in the 1920s. He chose February to honor Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
WBOK 1230 AM online at WBOK1230.com.